sexy is the...
Welcome to Raw is Jericho!
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Listen up, you blind slapnut. If I can be serious for a minute.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody.
The real reason I came here tonight is because we are live!
We flex on NXT.
It's go time, folks! Sweet! A little bit of the bubbly.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
For life.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all the ages out there, it is Thursday. Yes, it is. You know what that means. It is time for another edition of the Wrestling Weekend Review Show here, live in the living color on the Flex Network. We live on the Facebook, we live on the YouTube, and we're live on the Twitter for everyone out there. I am the SnowMan, and boy, oh boy, was it a hell of a week in the world of wrestling. I know I'm going to be talking about Hell in a Cell. This is, I would say this is going to be a more post Hell in a Cell talkative this week. As AEW is not on yet. It's not on until Saturday. They're having their show on Saturday thanks to the NBA playoffs going down. So because of that, AEW has been pushed to Saturday. So we're not going to talk AEW. Of course, we know Jungle Boy will be challenging for the AEW World Title against the Cleaner, the belt collector, Kenny Omega, this Saturday on Dynamite. But this is going to be more of WWE-esque show this week. As a lot of it, of course, we're looking ahead to Money in the Bank. We're looking back at Hell in a Cell this past week. I mean, 3 straight nights are on for WWE. Having a Hell in a Cell match. Of course, we talked about what happened last week on SmackDown, last Saturday. The show, the Weekend Review show on Saturday, talking about what went down Friday. Of course, Hell in a Cell pay-per-view on Sunday. And then, unexpectedly, Raw decides, hey, you know what? Let's have Monday Night Raw have a Hell in a Cell match this time. For the first time since 1998. Man, it has been a long time. And to be truthful, it was a good match. A really good match. I mean, not like 5 stars, like, oh my God, it was so legendary. But it was still a good match. Something you could throw on and be like, you know what? I'm entertained with this match. I'm going to get into my rant right now. This is the rant portion of the show to kick it off. And trust me, I'm going to have another rant in a little bit with, of course, what happened on Raw. There's another thing that happened on Monday Night Raw that kind of got me into a little stir. But the Hell in a Cell in the last several years. If you're a wrestling fanatic, you're someone who has watched wrestling for a very, very, very long time, like I have, you can go, and of course you can go back and watch a lot of this stuff on the network, on YouTube, But to get a feel for Hell in a Cell and what it stands for, if you're going to be going inside of Hell in a Cell, it is to be the end all, the end all, be all matchup in a rivalry. Obviously, I can throw off Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Bad Blood, 2004. Be all, end all for that rivalry. I mean, yes, they picked it right back up at. Actually, no, sorry, they didn't pick it right back up. I was thinking year back and then led into that, but never mind. You think of Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, the first Hell in the Cell, Bad Blood, 1997, and the introduction of Kane. I mean, yes, and of course, yes, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels did have one more go around, but that was months and months later at the Royal Rumble, and which of course led to Shawn Michaels getting injured and spawning off so many things. You think of Undertaker and Mankind, King of the Ring 98 in Pittsburgh, PA there. The end of their rivalry, essentially, right there. Because, again, that I would say, off the top of my head, that was the last time you saw those guys go one-on-one against each other. You think of Undertaker and Randy Orton, Armageddon 2005. And and what I'm getting at with a lot of these, matches and, why it takes place in Hell in a Cell, at least in my mind, and I'm sure a lot of people's, minds, is it is the end of a rivalry, a big rivalry that has bad blood intentions, that has, just the rivalry is so big and it's so menacing that it needs a blow off, a big end before they go their separate ways for quite a while, maybe it forever, and they don't meet up with each other again. Another one for that would be like Batista and Triple H, the World Heavyweight title, at Vengeance inside Hell in a Cell 2005. I think it was 2005. Hold on. Yeah, I want to say 2005, 2006. Actually, no, scratch that. 2005. Because WrestleMania WrestleMania in 2004 was WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania 21 was 05. Batista won the world title from Triple H at Staples Center 21 because that was when WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. They had the rematch at Backlash. Batista won that one, and then they had the final, or the big blow-off for that at Vengeance in Vegas inside Hell in a Cell. Okay. Another one I can easily throw out there. Randy Orton, John Cena for the WWE title inside Hell in a Cell, at Hell in a Cell. After, this legendary rivalry right here between these two, with the I Quit match at Breaking Point, the first and only time we had a Breaking Point. I believe that one might have been 2009, 2012, 10. I want to say it was 09. I'm checking something on my end, but 2009, 2010. Breaking Point. Then you go in, actually, I can't even say this was a blow off because they had their bigger blow off. This was more like the Hell in a Cell was more of a stopping ground for these guys, a pit stop on the way to their big finish in the rivalry. You had, of course, Hell in a Cell, and then it went to bragging rights in the 60-minute Iron Man, anything goes, Iron Man match. No countouts, no disqualifications, anything goes. That's where the rivalry ended. And Breaking Point 09. So yeah, I was right. 2009. 2009. So that was a rivalry. You don't get those a whole lot of time nowadays, especially with very good rivalries to say, okay, we're going to Hell in a Cell. This is how we're going to, we're blowing it off. Now it just seems like Hell in a Cell has been more of a stopping ground, a point in the rivalry before they go and do something else or before it fades away, and just to bring out the Hell in the Cell, which for a lot of fans, not cool in this day and age. For some fans, oh my gosh, it's so cool. We get to see the Hell in a Cell, the cell that, we got to see Mick Foley get tossed off of, the same, not the exact same cell structure, but the same concept. We got to see Kane debut, the same cell we got to see the brutality of Shawn and Triple H, the Armageddon 6-man Hell in a Cell with Austin, Rock, Undertaker, Rikishi, Triple H, Kurt Angle. And to me, that one Hell in a Cell is the one that mostly stands out to me personally, because you're putting 6 guys, the top superstars in the company back in 2000. You're putting the top 6 men, the WWF titles on the line, and this is the big payday for everything that has happened from No Mercy in October to Survivor Series, and then to Armageddon in December. A span of a 3-month, 3 months. And in some cases, maybe an additional year if you're talking with Austin and Triple H and Rikishi, and then the bringing in of The Rock in late 2000, and then you're bringing in The Undertaker and Kurt Angle, and it just fits so beautifully. I want people, if and nothing else, go back and watch. And I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. Go back and watch. I want you to watch Survivor Series 1999. Okay. Then I want you to go, watch that Survivor Series and understand, Austin getting taken out, of course, getting neck surgery and everything. But I'm saying in the mindset of, okay, Austin's been taken out with a car. We don't know who did it. Okay. It was a mystery for almost 10 months, 10 months, I would think. Okay. Austin comes back in September at Unforgiven. So Survivor Series 99 all the way to 2000, Unforgiven, September. Comes back, investigation. Okay. We find out it was Rikishi. But I'm just giving you the bullet points. Find out it's Rikishi. They have a one-on-one match at No Mercy, and it goes on from there. It brings in more people, and to the degree, it was just so intertwined and so well, planned out, and the stories and everything. It was so eloquently done, and that when we got to Armageddon, you knew the shit was going to hit the fan and all hell was going to break loose. Someone was going to get hurt. So I want you guys to go, when you're done with this podcast, go back and watch Survivor Series 99. You could skip all the way to September of 2000, and then the rest of the way all the way to December to Armageddon. Because that, and again, that also will set up the progression for On the Road to WrestleMania with the Royal Rumble and Triple H in Austin, Rock and Kurt Angle. It breaks off into that specter, which goes straight into WrestleMania 17. No Way Out in WrestleMania 17 and everything onward for that. But again, go and watch that. It was so well done. You're going to understand where I'm coming from for how I view Hell in a Cell, as it was the be-all, end-all for a rivalry. And, of course, another one, DX, Big Show, McMahon's Unforgiven 2007? 2006, 2007? I want to say that. The first ever handicap Hell in a Cell match at Unforgiven. Big Show is the ECW World Champ. Let me just double check on that part for 1 sec. I have I feel like I find you find it, and then Unforgiven. I know it was Unforgiven, but it's just gotta remember which one. Unforgiven 06, yeah, 06, Unforgiven. Air Canada's there, Toronto, Canada, because that was where Edge. That's where the TLC between Edge and John Cena happened. All right. Now that my rant has just gone on about Hell in a Cell, let's. I have no news for you guys this week. Shockingly, there's no news. We're just gonna tell. Of course, this is gonna be the last time that I be in the hell for a little while till next time, because I know you see this, you're thinking, man, it's hot. Well, if you're up here in the Western Washington area, if you're up here in Washington State, it's gonna get hot in the next couple days, and I don't think people want to be thinking about this already, because it is going to be hotter than hell up here. So this will be the last time you see this background for a little bit. But let's get into it, guys. Hell in a Cell took place this past Sunday, and it was the final pay-per-view inside the Thunderdome. And the Thunderdome era is slowly coming to an end, guys. We just got done with the final pay-per-view at Hell in a Cell. Pre-show, we had Natalya take on Mandy Rose in one-on-one action. Good opening matchup on the pre-show before the show, or before the Cell. And Natalya picks up the victory over Mandy Rose, which I'm intrigued with this rivalry with Natalya, Tamina taking on Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. I'm interested in this one. I want to keep my eyes on this, see where this is going to go in the near future when it comes up on the horizon for these, for this matchup for the tag team titles, for the women's tag team titles. We kick off the show with the Hell in a Cell for the SmackDown Women's title. Bianca Belair taking on Bayley, and this was a great. I was about to say good, but you know what? I'm going to say great women's Hell in a Cell. There's been other ones, but this one was a great one. I highly encourage you guys to go back and watch this one. Bayley and Bianca Belair. Bayley, of course, trying to, multiple times tie up Bianca Belair to ring ropes, to chair, just to prevent her from using that hair like a whip. Watch me nay on that one if you get whipped, because that's gonna hurt like a mother effer. Even Bianca tied it to Bayley just to give her a butt whooping and make sure she couldn't run. But this was a good matchup, a great matchup between Bianca and Bayley. Hopefully this is the blow off, and we could get some new blood into, I can't even really say new blood. again, I think we've talked about this on SmackDown, for the SmackDown side of the world, that of the women's roster is like so depleted that it's going to be very hard for Bianca to really get new blood into the mix. Just saying. Just for the plain fact that, Bianca is the champ. Of course, Natalya, if she wanted to go for the SmackDown, women's title, she could. Let me filter. So, just going down. So, Bailey, I think we've seen that run its course. Carmella, I kind of felt sour on her, against Sasha. I don't know, maybe if she could bring a good rivalry with Bianca for the SmackDown Women's title, maybe. But again, it's all about, who your dance partner is and how well she is. Liv Morgan gives me the best chance on SmackDown. I feel like Liv Morgan, after the catastrophe that backstage has provided with splitting and removing Ruby Riott and, removing her, essentially firing her. Liv Morgan, I think, can give the best opportunity on SmackDown for a chance for a rivalry with Bianca and maybe even go for the SmackDown Women's title. Natalya, of course, could give a shot if she wanted to go for the singles title. Sasha, haven't seen her in a while. Haven't seen her since WrestleMania. So don't know where she's, her head's at, how it's looking over there for her. So that's it. And of course Tamina also, but I feel like right now Tamina, give her a little bit more time to hold on to these I think the tag team titles are going to stay on Natalya and Tamina for a good long while. I just don't see anyone, in the tag team division. Granted, what tag team division? Besides Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, maybe Naomi and Asuka, maybe, I don't know. The only real saving grace is if NXT was in the mix with this, but of course they have their own women's tag team titles, so that just 86 them out of the picture. So you just took the women's tag team titles and you just pigeon-toed them to where they're screwed. As much as I want to believe that there is hope for this title to get some meaning and to get some respect and some good competition, I just don't see it right now. There is not a real tag team besides Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and of course right now Natalya, and actually, let me rephrase that. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke is the only other team I could really see given a true great shot at going for the tag team titles. Because they've been a tag team for a while. I believe I'm going to give them the advancement into they're no longer, a tag team that was, hasn't been working together. They're now a tag team. I would say they've reached that threshold of, okay, they're no longer two single wrestlers who are forced together. They're an actual tag team now. They've been together for a while. So Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Natalya, Tamina, and Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Those are your only tag teams in the division right now. Others are just going to be forced together, come together for whatever, to have a shot at the tag team titles. That's it. I don't really see anything out of that. Moving on from my rant of course, challenges for Bianca Belair now that she's still the SmackDown Women's Champion. Seth Rollins taking on Cesaro one-on-one. And of course, again, I say this, Hell in a Cell was all one-on-one matches. So there's no tags, no handicaps, no six-man tag action, no mixed tag, no nothing. Just one-on-one matches. this past week. And I would say that Seth Rollins, Cesaro. It was a good matchup, guys. It was a good matchup with Seth and Cesaro. I feel like they really put great effort into this, rivalry. I think this is going to be something to keep an eye on, and I hope that I believe we may get a rubber match out of this, because in WrestleMania, Seth lost to Cesaro. Hell in a Cell, Seth beat Cesaro, so they're 1-up right now in this current rivalry. There's going to be I believe there should be a blow off, the rubber match. No interference, no nothing, no shenanigans, no nothing. See who the better man is, and I'm going to put my money on Cesaro, just in the off chance that Seth Rollins might be the next challenger for Roman. I don't know. Still got a little ways to go. Figure out who's going to be that next challenger for Roman Reigns and that Universal title. One-on-one match. Alexa Bliss taking on Shayna Baszler, and I am officially declaring that the Bliss Fiend mystical powers, the psychotic Mr. Rogers phase of Alexa Bliss has finally started to turn. Actually, it's been starting to turn downward, ladies and gentlemen. And the whole thing with Bliss having now mind control powers, I think it's kind of okay. We're kind of now starting to get outside the realms of crazy, possibility. Maybe if this was a theater, a movie style matchup, like the Boneyard matchup, like Extreme Rules, the Wyatt Swamp match. So I just do not see in the last little while. Actually, yeah, I think it was. I think I said it correctly. That was Money in the Bank. I'm just going back through my notes to make sure I said the style correctly before I completely butcher it all to hell. That was nope. That was before all hell broke loose. I feel like I'm just trying to find the right words for it, before, just make sure I have it said I've said the right thing I wanted to say for how this was going to be. But I think, I was right in saying it was a cinema style, because it's just one of those things where you don't want to say it is and then be like, oh no, it was wrong. It's like, damn it, I was wrong. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say it's cinema style. Cinema style move. Feel. Matchup. If it wasn't that kind of matchup, I could see that happening. But we're getting now closer and closer to. Yeah, cinema style. Thank you. I was right. Cinema style, because I had to look back at the Wyatt Swap fight matchup. Way yonder ago. But if the Bliss and Shayna Baszler match was a cinema style matchup, I could conceivably believe that this, the mind control, Nia Jax, Reginald, that kind of thing, I could see that happening. but in a straight up one-on-one match, and it didn't have the feel of a funhouse, kind of feel. I just don't believe it, and I think they finally pushed this, pushed Alexa Bliss outside of the realm of being believable and it being not being a really, kind of really did that. I'm not, that looks silly and stupid kind of thing. And again, I'm not hating on Alexa Bliss. It's just how it's looked. And I think that again, once the fans get back into the arena, once we get to Money in the Bank, I think that that has to start to get toned down to where, unless it's the Fiend and they can, very well pull it off in front of a live audience, because again, the live audience is going to be back. They're going to have, their cell phones. There's probably going to be opportunity, flashes of light and everything, to make sure, during like when there's complete darkness. So there's not really going to be a whole lot of, the best chance to, cut to, go from, the arena that, turn off the lights and then cut to something else, then cut right back without, some fans, or the fans in general, cheering or, ooh, something on, on a live mic to where, oh, something's happening. We got to switch back, and make it, seem like it was supposed to happen that way. So they need to kind of tone it back into the realm of no more, the cinema style kind of thing, tone it back and get back into the reality world of one-on-one with some, not like the mind control stuff, not like the goofy stuff, because it can't happen anymore. It had a great run, but, and of course you even saw it at WrestleMania once we got, the Fiend versus Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss came out in the box and all that, everything that happened there. It kind of fell flat. So again, gotta work within the realm of reality now. Can't do the movie stuff anymore. But yeah, Bliss defeats Shayna Baszler in a so-so match. Not believable. Sami Zayn taking on Kevin Owens one-on-one. This one was okay. Honest opinion, it was okay. Really thought Kevin Owens was going to pull it out, but Sami Zayn gets the haluva kick. Sami Zayn, crazy. I think he's finally lost the marbles and is no longer, living on this planet. He's more like on the moon. Actually, not even to the moon, because Cameron Grimes would have already seen him. I think he's on Mercury or, Venus, because he's lost it, in the conspiracy world. But Sami Zayn picks up the victory on Kevin Owens. The second women's title up for grabs. The Raw women's title on the line. Charlotte Flair taking on Rhea Ripley. This was a good match. Very good. And I really, really do believe that Charlotte had a shot. Unfortunately for Rhea, I think Charlotte had a shot, but I would not necessarily given Rhea Ripley the best odds to retain. I was, said maybe it was a 49 to 51% chance at some point, maybe 50-50 as it got closer to the end, maybe actually, sorry, reverse that. 50-50 at a certain point, 51-49% for Charlotte to get the title, but not much of a difference. But I would not call that, throwing the, really just yanking the cover off the table at disqualification. I wouldn't have even called it like that, because again, it's not like she, lined up and then just bashed her. It was more like something out of anger. You like pull up and poof. But again, using the weapon, disqualification, just how it was. But it was smart on Rhea Ripley to, retain on that sense, to live to fight another day, get instead of a one-on-one, because of course we know that Charlotte's going to get another title opportunity, and she will get an opportunity. We'll talk about that Raw in a few minutes. But Charlotte does win the match. However, still your Raw Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. And then, of course, main event, the Hell in a Cell match for the WWE title. Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre in Drew McIntyre's last opportunity to wrestle for the WWE Championship against Bobby Lashley, as he is the current champ. If Drew, of course, cannot win the WWE Championship from Bobby Lashley, he will not be able to receive another opportunity as long as he is the champion. And this was, I would have to say, it may have not been as well of a blow off as I would have liked it, for as much destruction and chaos they have put each other through, and from WrestleMania Backlash, and of course Hell in a Cell. But it was a great way to end the rivalry, I would say, for the time being. Because again, Hell in a Cell is meant to be a blow-off. To be the end-all in a rivalry where big rivalries go to die and to move on afterwards. And it paid off. Because we had Singapore Canes, we had tables, steel steps, MVP's walking cane. We had literally almost everything but the kitchen sink. Actually, I can't even say almost everything, because there was only tables, chairs, steel steps, canes, kendo sticks. That in a nutshell. I mean, not as creative as Bayley was in her attempt for the SmackDown Women's title in her match with, taping up two Singapore Kings taping up two kendo sticks and trying to use them as, like a tableless, offensive move, and put Bianca through it earlier in the night. But it was still very great, a great matchup. Thinking we're going to get Drew to finally get the title off Bobby. At one point, the ref's knocked out. We get the ref on the outside come in. We thought we were going to get it, and MVP pulls him out. But it was well received. I actually love this. It was a great matchup this past Sunday. What a way to end Hell in a Cell. Bobby Lashley retains, and Drew McIntyre is no longer allowed to challenge for the WWE Championship as long as Bobby Lashley is the almighty Bobby Lashley is WWE Champion. But you think there might be some hope as we head towards Money in the Bank, of course. But I know I'm supposed to be out of hell right now. Timmy, I know, but I have that feeling I'm done with Hell in a Cell, aren't I? I'm done. Aren't I done with Hell in a Cell? You're shaking your head no. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Well, there was one more match. At Hell in a Cell? I watched that pay-per-view. There was no one more match. Wait. Whoa. Time out. You're telling me Monday Night Raw, to kick off the show, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods come out, crash Bobby Lashley's, little celebration of he's still the champ, and Drew McIntyre can't get another title shot against him. That we now know that at Money in the Bank, it will be Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston, WWE title. That's set in stone, okay? But wait, you're telling me Xavier Woods challenged Bobby Lashley? Okay, that's nothing new, man. I mean, that would probably be a good main event right there. Wait, whoa, time out. You're telling me it happened in what? In the South. Yeah. Wow. I mean, literally, first time in 20 some years? 19, 20 years? What? Last time was 98, it's 2021. Let me check my math here on that just for a second. $23 years. Okay, so 22, 23 years. It's been that long since we've had a Hell in a Cell match? Man. On Raw. You sure? Okay, okay. We're not done yet in Hell yet. But yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get to that in a little bit. Ricochet, of course, we're on the road to Money in the Bank. Let's, bring this back down. Boom. Still gotta be a little bit in hell, and then we can get out of this hell for a good while. But on the road to Money in the Bank, we gotta have some qualifying matches because it's Money in the Bank season, ladies and gentlemen. As we have qualifying match on Monday Night Raw. And we had Ricochet taking on AJ Styles. Good matchup. I really like this one. Ricochet defeating AJ Styles, a phenomenal one to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Actually, I don't know why I have that one up. It's a very bad one. So yeah, Ricochet is part of the field on the Raw side for Money in the Bank. For the men's side, at least the men's side. Other men's qualifying matches, we had John Morrison taking on Randy Orton for a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, I know that, of course, Matt Riddle meant well in coming down to ringside, helping out Randy Orton in his RK Bro tag team, prevent the Miz from interfering, and it backfired. As Johnny Drip Morrison moves on in the Money in the Bank ladder match, qualifying, so he will be part of the field next month. And then, of course, the final men's side for Raw this week. Riddle taking on Drew McIntyre in a qualifying match. And surprisingly, Riddle beats Drew. I think, again, Drew, who have just went through hell the previous night, and literally, if you saw the picture of his back looking like shredded cheese, like he went to Singapore and just got whipped. He went to hell through that cell, guys, and damn. I mean, I could try and let me find a, picture for you of what that looks like of his back. And it was that, just that bad. Okay. Yeah, I think I got one for you. Let me drag it on over to this side of the world and take a look at what has happened to Drew. Yeah. That is the after effects of Hell in a Cell. His back looks like shredded cheese. It looks like someone who just decided, you know what? I'm going to mouth off to my parent. Let's see what happens when they have a belt in their hand, how many times I can get whipped. It looks like the end of a bad decision with, I'm going to cut my own switch and just let my parents decide how much of a whooping I need to get for swearing in church in front of grandma. Yeah, that just looks that bad. Man, he got whipped. But yeah, that was essentially Drew McIntyre's night this past Sunday. And then, of course, Monday, he loses a qualifying match. And he has one more opportunity. We'll talk about that in a short little bit. On the women's side of the world, it was all basically Raw this past week was qualifying matches for Money in the Bank. And, of course, the Hell in a Cell. The unconventional Hell in a Cell, literally. On the women's side of the world, we had tag team action to qualify for 4 spots as Asuka and Naomi taking on Eva Marie and I'm going to call her by what she is supposed, I know what she's supposed to be called by. Let's be honest here. The name that somehow has come out of Eva Marie's mouth as a name is not necessarily the best thinking. And while the name, okay, let's I can't even sugarcoat this. The name itself is horrible, but Piper Niven tag team action with Eva Marie, but the name that they decided to go with was Doudrop. Matt, can you help me out here with this?
What the
Doudrop? Doudrop, that's the best you got? No. Piper was perfectly saying to keep, have that name. That is a perfect name for Piper Niven. Just leave it alone. You didn't need to change her name. It was a horrible name. No. Literally, bad decisions all around in that. And even more so, think of that, okay, we're going to see Eva Marie qualify for Money in the Bank. Didn't happen. Thank you, Piper, for dropping down after Eva Marie tags herself in after you've handled all the grunt work on, I believe it was on Naomi, and it looked like you guys were going to win. She tags herself in to try to get the pinfall. Didn't work out to her plan. Wanted to tag you back in, and then you just dropped down and said, no, I did all the grunt work. I was about to win. You wanted to come in, take all the shine, all the glory, thinking that you all that and a bag of chips. Hell no. And then got beat up and essentially rolled up and lost and is no longer qualified for Money in the Bank. So yeah. Karma, it's a bitch. There, Eva Marie literally is a bitch. And then, of course, the other women's tag team action for qualifying for the Money in the Bank for the women's side. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler taking on the reunion. I would say a reunion, but forced together reunion of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Bliss Cross back together for, I guess, for the moment in this tag team action. But here's where my other gripe is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. Nikki Cross. I've been saving this for the show this week. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not hating. I'm just trying to figure out in what world did this make sense to not only instantly change, like boom, this quick, but to give no real explanation, no real setup to make this switch? Okay, because if you didn't watch Raw, or if you've been living under a social media rock, Nikki Cross is now a superhero. Is now dressing up in the cape, the mask, the gauntlets, Wonder Woman, that, and the cape. So no, I'm not hating. Let me be clear. I'm not hating on Nikki Cross and this new round, but I am hating on the fact that, number one, it happened like that. 1 week she's beaten, actually many weeks, she's been beating Charlotte. She's been beating Rhea. And then the next time we see her, she's a superhero. I need you again, Matt, please.
What the f***?
I don't know. Even more so.
For instance, if you were to look up all-time bonehead plays...
Yeah, that would be one of them. Now, let me be very clear on this. The fact that, well, actually, let me be even more, on this. I want to give an example of a proper, a well thought out plan to explain how someone changes. Okay, let's go back to Hurricane. Hurricane. Everybody loves Hurricane Helms. What's up with that? But in how he decided to take Molly Holly and change her from Molly Holly to Mighty Molly. It was a very well concept idea. Hurricane kidnaps her, puts her in the her cycle, drives off. We don't see, obviously kidnaps her. Next time we see her, she is Mighty Molly, a superhero. Maybe superhero training, but Mighty Molly Holly. She's a superhero. And it worked for her. It was a well thought out, way of changing up the character. But the way that Nikki Cross had to switch, I didn't like that, just all of a sudden, boom, 1 week, she's, herself and, she's, obviously spark plug and everything. And then all of a sudden, she just out of nowhere. No hints, no, slow lead up to, or something to the degree of, what? After, maybe some subtle hints, backstage, maybe reading some superhero comics, maybe reading some Wonder Woman, maybe watching some Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel, that kind of thing, to the degree that there are hints like, oh, you know what? She might be, you watch back and like, oh, yeah, she was, watching this stuff, reading this stuff, we could see the change coming, or at least something to the degree of an explanation to why she changed. We see her 1 week and then the next week she's a superhero. Or if she somehow turns this into a dual identity where, like, Shane Helms was ace reporter for the Daily Globe. And then, you took off the glasses and, put on the her suit and he's the Hurricane Helms. What's up with that? Sorry, I gotta do it. What's up with that? I have to really rewatch that whole point, but again, that's just what what stuck in my craw with Nikki Cross, just going from wrestler to superhero in a blink of an eye in 1 week. No explanation, no setup, no story to get of why. Just I've wanted to now that I've expressed this, I wanted to do this and blah blah blah. okay, that's great. That's your feelings, but there's no story to, how you got from yourself to superhero, form. There's no rhyme or reason. We just see you one week as yourself, and then the next week you want to be a superhero. Again, what's up with that? I got nothing on that. But I'm sure Nikki's going to hit a home run with this. Of course, Molly Holly being one of the producers back there gives her some guidance with the superhero aspect. Maybe even Hurricane Helms, to help out. Shane Helms to help out with her. Even be part of the Super Legion of the Hurricane Helms. That would be cool. That would be something. At least then there would be a rhyme or reason. But just come out one week and be a superhero now. No build, no, just boom. Okay, next week you're a superhero. And the next weekend, boom, I'm a superhero now. That doesn't fly, especially when people are going to be coming on the road and they're going to be like, oh, great. Now when you have people that just switch on a dime for nothing and then, expect people to believe that and to get behind that. I mean, I get, Nikki Cross, I believe Nikki Cross has built up some goodwill over the last several years. I mean, when she was tagged with Alexa Bliss and Bliss Cross, I believe she was gaining more and more reliability and favoritism with the fans. And to the point where, she became a fan favorite. So now I believe that this is more of okay, I'm cashing in some of my favoritism to okay, hope you guys like what I'm doing now. You stick with me and, this is what I'm going to be doing now. Okay, let's see where it goes. But yes, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler do not qualify for Money in the Bank ladder match as Alexa Bliss and the superhero now, Nikki Cross, qualify for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. There will be 4 more spots on the SmackDown side to qualify for the women's half of the match. And then, of course, main event, Bobby Lashley, Xavier Woods inside Hell in a Cell. And it was a good matchup. I really enjoyed it, especially with it being on Monday Night Raw. Xavier Woods, I mean, when he hit the elbow drop off the top, to put Bobby Lashley through the table, you can see he overshot. I mean, he got a little extra spring in the step, but he overshot, and luckily he hit Bobby Lashley right in the center with his butt, or with his, the side of him. I want to say his hip, not his elbow, maybe not his ribs, but kind of like his elbow, his hip. And he got lucky and he didn't just overshoot, like air overshot, just literal, just overshoot and completely miss him.
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
That would have been funny. But yes, good matchup. Bobby Lashley beats Xavier Woods, of course, non-title. Afterwards, Bobby Lashley just MVP lock themselves inside the cell with Woods and just go to town on him, while Kofi watches in horror as we end Raw. We do know next week we are going to get a strap match between Jackson Riker and Elias, a strap match. Hopefully we get Jackson Riker to actually win, not just by via count out. And then, of course, we have a last chance triple threat match to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match on the men's side. It'll be Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and AJ Styles to qualify for the final spot on the Raw side. That was Monday Night Raw. Let's head on over quickly to NXT. And I'm out of hell now. Thank you. Now it's a little cooler in here. Of course, we're on the road to the Great American Bash, July 6th for NXT. And I have never had any complaints with NXT. It's been great content, great action over there. Adam Cole, taking on just a random person, Carmelo Hayes, put up a great effort on Adam Cole, but of course, Adam Cole picks up the victory, opening match of the night. Io Shirai and Zoe Stark taking on Jessie Camella and Aaliyah of the Robert Stone brand. Io Shirai and Zoe Stark picking up the victory in tag team action. Great tag team action between the Way of Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory taking on Pete Dunne and Oney Larkin. This was a great matchup. I loved it. You can really see some hints of old Johnny in there, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Takeover in this. And I really think that Johnny Gargano needs to bring Johnny Wrestling back into it a little bit more, maybe half the Way, half Johnny Wrestling again, and bring back the all heart and soul. Because again, he's getting cheered again. So I feel like they can pull off to switch him back and make the Way a good group. But and of course, Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory pick up the victory. Johnny Gargano looking to get into the NXT title opportunity, picture. Of course, Karrion Kross, once obviously looking like we're gonna get Kross's next opponent for the NXT title, maybe at the Bash, maybe. Frankie Monet defeats Elektra Lopez. And not really interested in that match. Hit Row defeating Everrise. Not really interested in that one as much. Kyle O'Reilly taking on Kushida. It was a great matchup between these guys. Literally, great matchup. Great. I loved it. Afterwards, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly fought as Samoa Joe and security tried to get separate them. And out comes the Diamond Mine. And a return to take on to essentially attack Kushida, and we get the return of Roderick Strong, and some bringing out Malcolm Beavis, I want to say Beavis. I want to say that, but I can't. AK Name Butcherer is here. Ladies and gentlemen, Name Butcher, Malcolm Bevs, Tyler Rust, and Hindik Suzuki is the Diamond Mine. And I really think that with Roderick Strong maybe in the hunt for the cruiserweight, wanting a shot at the cruiserweight title, that would be a great rivalry right there. Kushida taking on Roderick Strong. That would be a very well good, great matchup right there. Very well contrasting styles right there, but it would be fast paced and it'd be awesome. But that was NXT. Normally I would say, we would have already talked about we would talk about SmackDown and AEW, but not going to happen tonight on this show because, like I said before, we talked last week's SmackDown before we talked about, we ran down the card for Hell in a Cell last week. Because of course we decided the show was on Saturday last week, and of course no AEW until the weekend. So we will talk about AEW, I think twice next week, as I think AEW will be back to their Wednesday slot next week. I believe, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that they will be back on their normal week starting next week. They'll be back on Wednesdays. But yeah, Saturday they're going to go be on on Saturday this week because of the NBA playoffs. But yeah, that is going to be it for actually not even it. I have to finish out. Of course, we got Money in the Bank coming up July 18th. We know it will be Ricochet, John Morrison, in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And Riddle in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, women's Money in the Bank ladder match. WWE titles up for grabs. Bobby Lashley, Kofi Kingston, 1-on-1. And Raw women's titles up for grabs in a rematch. Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley. July 18th. In front of fans. First time since WrestleMania, but they'll be back on the road. So it's not we're going to here and then we're going right back to the Thunderdome. Nope. It will be live in front of fans. Fort Worth, Texas, baby. That is coming up. And then, of course, something special here for everybody on the Flex Network because the man, the myth, the man himself, Flex Matt, this time tomorrow will be having a shizzo, a wrestling show here in Everett, Washington at the Scuttlebutt Tap Room, June 25th, which is tomorrow. And it will be one hell of a card, guys, as we're going to have ourselves Scuttlebutt Spot Fest 1, the beginning. It will happen tomorrow night. The main undercard's at 7 p.m. The main card starts at 8. It will be at 3314 Cedar Street in Everett, Washington at the tap room, at the Scuttlebutt Tap Room. And we have the card for you guys of what the main card, at least that's what I think is the main card. But we have it for you guys because it will be going 1-on-1. It will be Rebel Kell taking on Delilah Doom in 1-on-1 action. For the ladies, we have a tag team action. The Bash Brothers taking on Double Impact. We got Drake Quan taking on Max Burnside. We've got Chris Brady taking on Real Talk Rashad Tyson. We've got Lucas Riley taking on Nick Wayne, and this one is sponsored by Without a Cause Wrestling, WAC. And then, of course, we got the hashtag verified Steve Miggs, the hashtag verified champion, taking on Warhorse. Man, that's going to be a stacked card, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night. Want to make sure I didn't miss any matches. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. That is all the matches for tomorrow night. Make sure you guys, oh, wait a minute. I was going to say, make sure you guys go and get your tickets, but guess what? It's already sold out. If you're trying to get there, it's already sold out. Make sure you guys will get there before so you guys can enjoy the great show that's going to be put on to you by the Flex Network. But now that is going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to get on out of here. Let's get through with let me get through our lovely house cleaning before we peace on out of here for the week. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow all of our social media accounts here on the Flex Network. You can find us on Facebook. Well, you should. But like and subscribe and share with us to all of your friends, family, and your compadres out there. Share us. We want to grow and have many more people tune in to the Flex Network. Be sure to like and subscribe us on Facebook. You can find us at the Flex Network 1 for all your football fans and fantasy football, wrestling content, and MMA content on Facebook. On Twitter, you can find us at the Flex Network 1 for your football and fantasy football content. At MMA Evergreen for your MMA and UFC content. And of course, you should be liking and subscribing to us here at the Flex Network Wrestling at FlexNet_PW Elite for all of your wrestling content. We are also on that YouTube. Search Flex Network for your football and fantasy football content. And of course, search Flex Network Wrestling for your wrestling content. And for the live shows, of course, that we do here every week. And of course, we're on that podcast as well. If we are somewhere where we're not, where you listen, get your podcast fixed, let us know. We'll get there and we'll flex on that. But we are on that Spotify, Apple. We're pretty much on all the big ones. We're on all the ones that should be out there. But that's going to be it for me, guys. What a week as we head on down the road to Money in the Bank, as we head on down the road to fans being back in the stands. We're getting there, guys. It's so close. So close. But that's going to be it for me. I am the SnowMan. I will see you guys here next week. And stay safe out there, guys, with this heat wave coming up out here over the weekend. Stay safe, stay hydrated. But other than that, I will see you guys next week. Peace out.
This has been the Pro Wrestling Week in Review Show.
You got some fellow Canadians.
But when you're from Calgary,
Where's that?
Alberta, Canada,
A one-way first-class ticket to Larryland.
What is it with you folks coming to Florida? Stay in your own country. This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody. Right here.
why me? Why me? Why me? Don't blame Canada. Blame yourself.
Feels like showtime every minute to me. I can't help it.
No. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Ta-ta for now.
We're out of time. Good night on Nitro.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Well, you're welcome, Jurassic Slap Ass.